Today, we delve into the story of one of the greatest leaders of ancient Greece, a man who transformed Athens and left a legacy that resonates to this day. This is the tale of Pericles, the architect of Athens' golden age. Pericles, born in Athens in 495 BC, was a statesman, orator, and general who led his city into an era of cultural and political splendor. Under his leadership, Athens reached its peak, becoming the intellectual and artistic center of the Greek world. Pericles' vision was not just that of a politician, but of a visionary who understood that the power of a city does not reside solely in its military strength, but in its ability to inspire, educate, and elevate its citizens. Pericles was born into an influential family, with his father, Xanthippus, and his mother, Agorist, descendants of illustrious Athenian figures. From a young age, Pericles was educated in philosophy, rhetoric, and the arts, showing an early interest in politics and public service. His character, shaped by the teachings of great masters like Anaxagoras and Damon, gave him a unique perspective on power and responsibility. Rather than seeking personal glory, Pericles dedicated his life to uplifting Athens, firmly believing in the collective potential of his people. As Athens recovered from the Persian Wars, Pericles began to stand out for his oratory skills and deep understanding of democracy. His vision was clear: to make Athens the most formidable power in Greece. Aware of the fragility of power, Pericles promoted reforms that allowed a greater number of citizens to participate in decision-making, strengthening democracy, and creating a more inclusive government. This not only solidified his leadership, but also laid the foundation for a society where debate and reason were the core of public life. Pericles assumed a leadership role in Athens around 461 BC, and for the next 3 decades, he guided the city with a steady hand. Under his direction, Athenian democracy was consolidated, giving citizens an unprecedented voice in government. But his legacy was not limited to politics. Pericles understood that for Athens to endure in the memory of humanity, it had to become the cultural epicenter of the Greek world. His commitment to culture, architecture, and the arts was not just a reflection of his love for beauty, but a strategy to unite his people around a common project that made them proud to be Athenians. However, his greatest legacy was the architectural and cultural transformation of Athens. Below, we will review the most important projects carried out during his government. These projects were not just construction works, but symbols of Athens' greatness, designed to inspire future generations and showcase the splendor of Greek civilization.
The Parthenon.
Undoubtedly the most ambitious project, this temple dedicated to Athena became the eternal symbol of Athens and classical Greek art. More than a religious building, the Parthenon was a manifesto in stone, a declaration of Athens' cultural and artistic supremacy. It was designed to astonish all who saw it, from Athenian citizens to foreigners visiting the city. The Parthenon was built under the direction of Pericles as part of an ambitious renovation program aimed at celebrating Athens' victory over Persia at the Battle of Thermopylae and reaffirming the city-state's grandeur and power. Pericles saw the temple as a symbol of Athenian supremacy and a means to honor the goddess Athena, the city's protector. The Parthenon, dedicated to Athena Parthenos the Virgin, served not only as a religious center but also as a demonstration of Athens' flourishing cultural and political power in the 5th century BC. The design of the Parthenon was the work of architects Ictinus and Callicrates, who worked under the supervision of Pericles. The two architects were renowned in classical Athens, and their innovations in the temple's design reflected the most advanced architectural ideas of the time. The sculptor Phidias, one of the most famous artists of antiquity, also played a crucial role by overseeing the decorative sculptures of the Parthenon, including the imposing statue of Athena that stood inside the temple. The Parthenon was primarily structured with two main areas, the cella or naos, which housed Phidias' colossal statue of Athena, and the pronaos, the entrance, and the opostomus, the rear area. The statue of Athena, about 12 meters tall and made of ivory and gold, was the focal point of the temple. In addition to this central statue, the Parthenon was adorned with friezes and metopes carved with mythological episodes and celebrating the values of the city. The friezes of the Parthenon depicted a religious procession in honor of Athena, while the metopes illustrated mythical battles, such as the wars between the gods and the giants. Construction of the Parthenon began in 447 BC and was completed in 438 BC, meaning the total construction period lasted about 9 years. This relatively short construction time for such a grand project reflects the high level of organization and the wealth of Athens at the time, as well as Pericles and his administration's dedication to completing the temple. The speed of execution also underscores the significance attributed to the Parthenon as a symbol of Athenian glory. The Parthenon measures approximately 69.5 meters in length by 30.9 meters in width and is built in the Doric style with Ionic elements. The structure is notable for its innovative use of mathematical and optical proportions to create a visually perfect appearance. The friezes of the Parthenon, which surround the temple, are particularly remarkable. The frieze of the Panathenaic procession, located on the exterior of the temple, shows a detailed depiction of the grand festival in honor of Athena, while the metopes and the pediment present scenes of mythical battles. These sculptural details were executed with a technical mastery that has been admired for centuries. The Parthenon underwent several stages of destruction throughout its history. In 1687, during the Venetian-Ottoman War, the temple was severely damaged by an explosion when a Venetian cannonball hit a gunpowder magazine inside the building, which was being used as a fortress by the Ottomans. Subsequently, the Parthenon was partly looted and dismantled by Ottoman forces and art traffickers. Today, the ruins of the Parthenon are over 2,300 years old and continue to stand as a powerful symbol of the ancient Greek cultural and architectural heritage.
The Odeon of Pericles.
Built as a covered theater, this space was used for cultural and musical events, reflecting the importance Pericles placed on art and culture. The Odeon not only served as a place of entertainment but as a center of cultural education, where Athenians could enjoy and learn from the finest artistic performances of the time. The Odeon of Pericles, designed by the architect Ictinus, was constructed between 435 and 432 BC, making the total construction time approximately 3 years. The theater was an impressive structure, measuring about 100 meters in length and 80 meters in width, featuring a roofed auditorium designed for musical and dramatic performances. Today, the ruins of the Odeon are over 2,400 years old, reflecting its significant historical and architectural impact on ancient Athens.
The Long Walls.
To protect Athens and its port, Pericles ordered the construction of walls connecting the city with Piraeus, ensuring that Athens could withstand long sieges. This feat of military engineering not only guaranteed the city's security but also ensured a constant flow of supplies and trade, maintaining Athens as an economic power during times of war. The Long Walls of Athens, designed by the architect Callicrates, were constructed between 445 and 426 BC, spanning approximately 19 years. These fortifications connected Athens to its port at Piraeus, with each wall stretching about 7 kilometers in length, creating a secure land route for the city's supply lines. Today, the ruins of the Long Walls are over 2,400 years old, standing as a testament to Athens' strategic military and architectural prowess during the classical period.
The Port of Piraeus.
Under his direction, the port was expanded and fortified, becoming a vital commercial and military center for Athenian hegemony. Pericles understood that control of maritime trade was essential to Athens' power, and the expansion of Piraeus reflected his long-term strategic vision, ensuring that Athens controlled not only Greece, but also the trade routes of the Mediterranean. The port of Piraeus, developed under the supervision of Themistocles, was constructed between 493 and 478 BC, spanning approximately 15 years. The port was designed with a series of large, well-protected harbors, including the main harbors of Cantharis and Z, which measured about 800 meters in length each, providing extensive facilities for Athens' naval and commercial activities. Today, the remains of the ancient port are over 2,500 years old, reflecting its crucial role in Athens' economic and military strength during the classical period.
The Acropolis.
In addition to the Parthenon, Pericles promoted the construction of other monuments on the Acropolis, such as the Erechtheion and the Propylaea, which elevated Athens' status as a religious and cultural center. The Acropolis was not just a collection of buildings, but a symbol of the unity and strength of the polis, a constant reminder of the values that Pericles wanted Athens to represent. This monumental complex, covering an area of about 3.5 hectares, includes the Parthenon, the Erechtheion, and the Temple of Athena Nike. During Pericles' leadership, the Acropolis was a focal point for the Panathenaic festival, celebrating the goddess Athena with grand processions, athletic competitions, and sacrifices. The Acropolis, perched on a rocky outcrop overlooking Athens, was regarded as superior to the Agora, the city's marketplace, due to its religious and symbolic significance. It served as the primary center for worship and the display of Athenian grandeur, while the Agora was more focused on daily commercial and political activities. The elevated position of the Acropolis reinforced its status as a sacred precinct with its monumental buildings, reflecting the height of Athenian artistic and architectural achievements. Today, the ruins of the Acropolis are over 2,400 years old, continuing to stand as a symbol of ancient Greek cultural and architectural prowess. Despite his many achievements, the end of Pericles' tenure was marked by the Peloponnesian War, a conflict that weakened Athens. Pericles died in 429 BC, a victim of a plague that ravaged the city. The war and the plague were not only personal tragedies for Pericles, but also challenges to his vision of a united and powerful Athens. However, even in his final days, Pericles maintained his faith in his city's ability to overcome adversity, leaving an example of resilience that would endure long after his death. Pericles' legacy endures. His vision of a powerful, democratic, and culturally rich Athens has inspired generations, and his influence is felt in Western philosophy, art, and politics. Today, when we look at the ruins of the Parthenon or reflect on the democratic principles that guide our societies, we are remembering Pericles' lasting impact. Pericles was not just a leader, he was a visionary who sculpted the destiny of his city. Today, more than 2 millennia later, we remember Pericles as the man who made Athens the beacon of civilization that illuminated the ancient world. His life and works remind us that true leadership is not only measured by military or political success, but by the ability to inspire others to dream, create, and build a better future. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the life and work of Pericles. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and like for more historical content like this.